Welcome guys. Well, what a move it's been over the last couple of weeks for Zilliqa flying. I'm using my Huobi chart here. It has got all the data all the way back to February 2018, so we can pretty much get an idea of some of the key levels which we should be looking to target. We're starting on a weekly time frame, and it is absolutely great to see two candles like that push into the upside, and we broke through this big level of resistance here, which I've had marked up on a different chart. But if you look at all these closures here all the way across, that is what we've just pierced through, that big weekly level of resistance. It was a nice level which we were targeting here. I mentioned it in my previous video where we rejected several times, and it was support region back there. So all in all, it's been a great period of growth. Lots of news incoming and quite a bit of FOMO in the air, so also just be wary about that as well. If you're looking at this from the sidelines and thinking, I've not bought this asset before but I'm wanting to get in, just be wary about that. I mean, for me it's a great asset. It's always been a great asset. I sold mine way back up here somewhere, and I sold some back down here. I've got a small position but nothing major, but still love the project, still love what it's doing, and maybe if we do get a pullback, I might even consider buying some more, but currently not on this major pump. So the weekly, looking good. In terms of levels on a weekly time frame, there's not much really. We've got the all-time high, which we'll mark up there, which is around 25 cents. So in terms of price, how far we got to go, we've got another 73% till all-time highs. I want to drop down to a daily time frame here, and obviously we've broken through this major level of weekly resistance now. And in terms of analysing a couple of key levels, there's not much trading data above here. I mean, if you look at this in terms of a date range from, let's take when we was above this level of resistance here, went on to all-time highs. We've only got like 70 days worth of trading data above this level of resistance, so price action could really shoot up to all-time highs in the matter of a day or two, so just be aware about that. But the RSI is well overcooked on the daily time frame here. The RSI is, I mean, it pushed up to 93, and we are into that overbought territory. So with that in mind, potentially just use this to your advantage. I want to drop down to the 4-hour here. We'll analyse. So look at this latest move here. We actually formed a bull flag. So from the bottom there to the top, look at that for a wick up there. We rejected all the way down. We lost that 382 level. We probably bounced around that 50% fib, and then when pushed to the upside, we did form a bull flag there. But just beware of it. Price is looking good with 50% up on the day. And let's just put a little bit of a bearish spin on this. There's a good chance we may come back down and retest this level of support here, which was resistance. So if we look at this latest move here from the bottom to the top, this gives it a few nice levels. I think if you're looking for some buys, then I would look at this region here at 13.3 cent, and I'd ladder some down to this golden ratio here at 11.9 cent. It's a decent area here, which we've done quite a lot of wicks, which rejected here. Showed that was a decent level of resistance. It might is that 618 region. So maybe 2 to 3 buys within this region here. So 13.3 cent all the way down to 11.9, and maybe even look to consider this region here. I think 10 cent is a psychological area where a lot of people would have bought back here thinking, right, I'm going to ride this up and take some profit. So remember, if you don't want to take profit, other people will on your behalf. So use these levels as a game changer to boost your accumulation level. So what I would do is consider buys here at 13.3 cent all the way down to 11.9. May not happen. We may just continue this epic pump and really start pushing up. Looking at the moving averages, V20 and the 50, you know I always use these, and it does give you a longer term perspective of what the price is doing in terms of direction. So we had a bearish cross here back on 18th of November. Most assets did drop down, but we have had a bullish engulfing couple of weeks, and we've formed a bullish cross now. Usually what I look for is a retest of these moving averages, but it's way too soon for that. We need to start getting some consolidation candles, because if this just keeps going vertical and VMAs, you're not going to get that retest down at these crucial levels. So retest maybe, who knows? It might be once we start pushing up towards this 20 cent region, but I think we will get a little bit of a pullback at some stage, whether that's at this region I've mentioned or whether it's up at some of these negative extensions. So if you're looking for profit regions and levels to take profit, the elephant in the room is 20 cent. I think every man and his dog might be looking to 20 cent to take some profit there. But just drop it slightly short, so maybe at around 19.4 cent. on this negative 6 and 8 region. So I would look at these two regions here as take profit zones at 17.3 and 19.4 cent. I think those are some decent areas to take profit. But if the market just continues to pump and it starts pushing up, all-time highs is not a million miles away at 25 cent. And then once that happens, then let's have a look at a few things here. So we've put a fib on from the top of the move there all the way down to the bottom. And we're going to look at some of these extensions. So some of these extensions can give you price predictions on the way up. So look at these levels. You've got 39 cent, 54, 61, 79. And everybody's magical level that they keep talking about, the dollar. The dollar level for Zilliqa has been talked about for years. I remember investing in Zilliqa like 2.5 years ago. And everybody said it's going to $1. I think it's just that natural number that people look for, isn't it, $1. For me, it's a long way off yet. But it could happen this year. It could happen in the space of a month. It could happen very quick, depending on how the news comes, how the investors react to it, and how the general market is. Because we do know that Bitcoin is the instigator of any pump, and it has started pushing up well. Hoping personally that Bitcoin does start pushing up to that 51k barrier soon. With that, if that just continues to push, ultimately altcoins are really going to start to get sent, and with a bullish narrative behind Zilliqa, you will consider all possibilities in terms of price action. So look at those levels there, use them to your advantage. Do not just hold on forever waiting for that dollar mark. Obviously, it will hit there at some stage, but ladder out, take profit on the way up. Maybe even if it's 5% of your bag, take profit here, take profit here, take profit here, and just keep laddering out at certain amounts. Because what happens if it does get to that point and then it dumps? So imagine if it gets to 54 cent, it could easily dump back down to 39, and that would give you then an option to use some of those stable assets you sold to buy back in. So if you're using it for profit, happy days. If you're using it for accumulation, happy days. Just keep taking profits. Like I say, even if it's a little bit, don't get too wrapped up in the narrative that the asset is unbeatable and untouchable, because trust me, I've been there. Every asset is doomed at some stage for a bit of a retracement. So in terms of thoughts on that, things are looking good. We're now back above that moving average, daily moving average 200, which is a great long-term sign. We may even come back down and test that. Nah, probably not actually. I think this might start climbing up. 7.4 cent is a bit too much of a bearish point to look at considering price action. So yeah, I'm going to keep those buy levels up here at this major support level at 13 cent, ladder down to around 12, and I think, fingers crossed, you may get some orders filled if you feel like you've missed out. Just quickly, we will jump onto the look at the state of that. It's crazy. We'll look at the BTC pair. I know some people do trade in Satoshis. Personally, I think if you're looking to buy Bitcoin and or build up Bitcoin, then it's a good way to use altcoins to use it to trade. So looking at it on a weekly time frame, it looks like a big pump there, but look where we've been in the past. This was crazy. It's been all the way up to 2,500 Satoshis. That was back in May 18, so that's when it created a new all-time highs, and it was around that time when it was full bear market mode, but Zilliqa created some monstrous highs, but ever since then it's sold off. We have bounced off this level of support around here. I did identify these two levels, said look, this is a major level of support here at 88 sats. We didn't quite make it, did we? And then we're back, bang straight up. It's followed the dollar pair and it's looking good. I think this is the first major region where you need to look at taking profit. You can see multiple wicks around this region here, and then it is a nice level of resistance here, which you should be looking to use to take profit, and that's around 406 Satoshis. We're currently at 311, so it's not a million miles away off. And like I say, if you're using to Bitcoin to flip altcoins, that could be your level to target. In terms of buy zones, I mean, you could potentially look back down in this region around here, major level of resistance and major level of resistance here, and that's at around 259 sats. RSI looks absolutely ridiculous here, doesn't it? Absolute moonage. Coming towards the overbought territory again. Not so bad on the dollar pair. In fact, yeah, not quite as bad on that weekly time frame, but things are getting a bit crazy, and do not get wrapped up in that FOMO. It's a great asset and it's going to be a great long-term hold, but short-term, there might be a few burnt fingers, so just a word of caution there. That's going to do it. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that like button. I'll catch you next time.